vote must be stopped. They must be stopped. Your police, she's saying, must be stopped. The people that are anarchists and the people that are terrorists and all of these, but they don't have to be stopped, but she wants our police officers to be stopped. That's not happening. Even worse, Joe Biden has viciously slandered our police, if he actually knew what he was talking about, which I don't think. You don't take it personally because he has no idea what he's talking about. Just says, reads whatever they put. They put it there and reads it. Sometimes he reads it and sometimes he doesn't. Pretty soon he won't be able to do that either. And said that when the well-armed officers do their job, enforce the law, they become the enemy. Oh, I see. I see. They become the enemy when they enforce the law. That's nice. When asked recently if he supports cutting police budgets, Biden looked at them and said, yes, yes, absolutely. But again, I don't think he knew exactly what the question meant. Too complicated. In Biden's unity platform developed with socialist Bernie Sanders, crazy Bernie, you know Bernie? Everybody here Bernie? He's the only guy I've ever seen that loses, and he goes like there's nothing happened. I never saw a better loser than Bernie. They took the election away from him twice. If Pocahontas wouldn't have run, you know that, he would have won Super Tuesday. She stayed in Super Tuesday, left right after Super Tuesday. If she stayed and if she would have left the race just a few days before, the day before, Bernie would have gotten the thing. And then he gets out and he's friends with everybody like nothing happened. I don't know. I don't know if he's got another run in him. Does he have another run? I don't think so. He's not looking too good, but he's a great loser. And I have to say, you know, Bernie's people, we got, I think, 15% of our vote, of the vote, was Bernie people voting for us. You know why? Because they love Trump on trade. Because I stop and trade. Look at what we did with China. We took in tens of billions of dollars. And before the plague came in, we were doing so great. We were doing better than any country has ever done. We were beating China at every level. They were in a year, 67 years ago. It's the worst they've ever done. 67 years, they were having the worst year, and we were having the best year we ever had. Our economy, our jobs, whether it's African-American employment, Asian-American employment, women, Hispanic employment was the best ever in history. Hispanic employment. Who's Hispanic? Any Hispanics in the crowd? Yes. Raise your hand. Yep. And you've done great. And your home ownership and every aspect. You know, you look at people without a diploma, high school. People with a diploma in high school. People went to college, finished college, didn't finish. They have more groups than you've ever heard. Every single group was doing the best they've ever done. The stock market was the highest it ever was, although I must tell you it's getting very close right now. NASDAQ actually is higher. It's actually higher. And we had the best job numbers just recently, but we had the best of everything. The good news, we rebuilt our military, $2.5 trillion. $2.5 trillion. Think of that. We totally rebuilt our military. When I took it over, it was depleted. We had jets, fighter jets that were 52 years old. I wouldn't want to be in a fighter jet. I don't care who the enemy is. It's 52 years old. It's got to be better, right? But we have now all brand new fighter jets, lots of F-35s, a super jet. We have new missiles and new rockets and new everything, new tanks. We have a brand new military. Most of the equipment's delivered. A lot of it's actually coming, but it's coming very soon. All built in the USA, made in the USA. It's very important. So we have people like Bernie want to reimagine public safety. They want to reimagine it. That's what they talk about. We're going to reimagine. We'll reimagine them. I don't know much about what they do. I can tell you one thing. I support them, and the reason I support them is there's nobody better in the world. They don't have to reimagine. They know exactly what they're doing. Every day they get up and they go to work. They know what they're doing. And, you know, nationwide, our crime, this is hard with Chicago and all these places run by the radical left, which is what they're run by. But our numbers nationwide, you know, are the best they've ever been. We have very good crime numbers nationwide. That's pretty amazing when you add a couple of places like Portland and Seattle and Chicago. But that's the way it is. But you have people, radicals like Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's a beauty. That's a real beauty. AOC, I call it AOC +3. Ilhan Omar, who doesn't love our country. Doesn't love our country. You're going to get me in trouble. I won't say what you said. Last time that happened, they said they made the exact same, don't worry, they made the exact same statement as you, and they criticized me for not getting angry at the people in the audience. You remember that? So we won't say it, but they know what I mean. And Rashida Tlaib, that's another one. That's great. And they all mean to defund and disband police departments. That's what they want to do, defund and disband the police. Biden and Bernie's manifesto. So, you know, they agreed to a manifesto. I call it a manifesto. They don't call it that. It is a manifesto. But it's sort of strange because, you know, we thought it would go right. That's further left than Bernie ever was. If you look, open borders, don't go after criminals, immediate education for illegal aliens, health care for illegal aliens when our own people don't necessarily get it. It's crazy. But it's further left than Bernie ever was, and it's a disaster. And ban fracking, forget about energy. Your energy costs here will go way up. 2 days ago, I was in Texas. I said, you know, Bernie wants to ban fracking and ban oil. They said, oh, we didn't know that. I think we'll vote for Trump. I think winning Texas and being against oil and gas is not good. Do you agree? Typically, they're also against guns. That's where Florida kicks in. They want to get rid of your Second Amendment. They will. If something happens here, one of the unexpected things that can happen, but they would immediately go for the Second Amendment, and I'm protecting your Second Amendment, totally protecting it. Biden supports lethal sanctuary cities which release dangerous criminal aliens onto the streets. They protect aliens much more so than people that aren't aliens. They protect criminals. And Biden opposes the death penalty, even for cop killers and child murderers. I see in Boston where you have the animal that killed so many people during the Boston Marathon. They just sent his conviction for the death penalty back to the lower court, so they'll argue about that for a long time. It's ridiculous. Think of that. It's ridiculous. Under the last administration, funding for local police was cut by hundreds of millions of dollars, and now they're talking about a much larger cut. 80% of the state and local enforcement surveyed reported a drop in federal funding. And MS-13 was allowed to go wild in our cities during the last administration. We've taken thousands and thousands of MS-13 the hell out of our country, and we brought them back. And now with the wall up to 267 miles, we built 267 miles. They don't talk about it. You never hear about the wall anymore. Used to be the biggest subject. Now I want the fake news media to talk about the wall. They don't want to talk about it. But it's had a great impact on the border. Mexico's had a great impact. They've been really nice to us. They have 27,000 soldiers on our southern border protecting us from people coming in from lots of places. Some places that aren't working out so good, but from Mexico, you know, coming illegally into our country, and Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. So we have the strongest border we've ever had, and as the wall gets up, nothing gets through that wall. That wall was built to last and last a long time. You know, when we were building the wall, I went to Border Patrol. Border Patrol, ICE, these are incredible people. And I went to them and I said, what kind of wall do you want? Do you want a nice solid concrete wall that I can throw up real quick? They said, no, sir, we need to have some see-through ability, right? And they want see-through, and ideally we want steel, sir, but we also want concrete. So we'd like steel on the outside, concrete on the inside, and then, sir, if you could put heavy strength rebar. I said, well, this is getting to be a little bit much. But we gave them everything they want, and the plate on top, that's an anti-climb plate for those that are interested. That makes it very tough to climb. First I said, I don't like the plate on top. They say, sir, that's for anti-climb. Makes it much tougher to climb. I figured I could save a few bucks. We didn't save the money, but we got it for the right price. So we're at over almost 270 miles. By the end of this year, it'll be just about finished, maybe early next year, just about. And we actually are doing more wall than we stated we were going to do. We're going to be over 500 miles. That's a lot of wall. It's a lot of wall. And it's having a tremendous impact. Wherever the wall is built, people aren't coming through. You can't get through. So the victims of the radical anti-police policies are millions of innocent Americans of every race, color, and background, including countless amazing Hispanic Americans who follow our laws, love our country, uplift our communities, and want safety for themselves and for the families. And I'll tell you what, the Hispanic Americans understand the border better than anybody, even me. I think I've become an expert. But they understand, and they want great people coming into the country. And they don't want people taking their jobs, and they don't want people taking their houses and taking their prosperity. But we've had a tremendous relationship. In fact, I was given, by the way, the Cubans. Do we have any Cubans here? I was given last time the Bay of Pigs Award. Bay of Pigs Award. They gave me the Bay of Pigs Award, so that was a big thing. We do great with Venezuelans. We're taking care of Venezuela, and we're taking care of Cuba. Joe Biden and the radical left's outrageous campaign against law enforcement is the major reason violent crime is surging in Democrat-run cities all across the nation. Where you have a Democrat-run city, you have a city with problems. If Joe Biden is elected president, the chaos and bloodshed will spread to every community in our land. You'll have a Portland everywhere. Look at Portland. It's like from 100 years ago. But I will tell you, Homeland Security has been incredible. A number of days ago, we sent them to protect the courthouse, if you can believe this. We actually sent them in, and they've done a great job. They protected it. These rallies or these riots, terrorists, anarchists, they've been going on now for 64 days. So 7 days ago, we sent them in. They protected the courthouse. And now we gave them a very short period of time, like days. They actually started yesterday to clean up their city and get rid of this, let's say these people, because I almost used a bad term. And I would have been in trouble with all of those people up there, right? That's the news. See, there they are. A couple of good ones, mostly bad ones. But we would have been in big trouble. But we cleaned it up, and they emptied out the park last night. You know, they're supposed to invite us in, but we invited ourselves. But if they don't clean it up, we'll be sending in people, and we'll take care of it in about 2 hours. It'll go very quickly. But they know that. They know that. But I want to thank Homeland Security because they protected the courthouse. By the time they got there, the graffiti was all over the place, but they were looking to blow it up and tear it down. In Joe Biden's America, you and your family will never be safe. Rioters and criminals will be totally protected. Law-abiding citizens will be totally disarmed. And American families will be at the mercy of the violent left-wing mob that you've been watching on television. There will be no safety, no security, no peace, no justice, no one to protect you, and no one to defend the American way of life. People like standing behind me will not be considered prime time. With me, they are considered prime time. They're the best we have. They're the best we have. I mean it. I mean it. Under my administration, we take a different approach. As president, I will always stand with the incredible men and women of law enforcement. And by the way, that means your unbelievable first responders, your unbelievable firemen and women, your unbelievable groups of people that work the ambulances and the doctors and the nurses that are so brave, and we're with all of them. Upon taking office, I ended the last administration's 8-year crusade to cripple our sheriffs, our police officers, and law enforcement heroes all over our country. I made available $760 million worth of surplus military equipment to protect police in the line of duty. Did all of you get some of that? Pretty much, right? Because they weren't doing it. They didn't want to do it because they said it made the police look too strong. I said, what's that all about? And a lot of it is defensive equipment, right? It's the trucks and the heavy armor and things to defend yourselves. And it was sitting in warehouses all over the United States drawing dust, just getting older and older. Some of it was brand new, but it would just get older and older. And one of the first things I did was distribute it throughout the land, throughout the United States, distribute it and get it to our police departments. And we had a lot of equipment distributed, close to $1 billion worth of equipment. We're sending hundreds of federal law enforcement officers into places like Chicago and other cities to help them And if they don't get their act straightened out, in Chicago, over the last few weeks, you had hundreds of people shot and far too many people, I won't even give you the number, it's a disgrace, far too many people killed, including young children, who were supposedly by accident, probably were by accident, stray bullets. And they'll either get their act straightened out, cleaned up, or we're going to clean it up for them, and they know that. I pledge to every law enforcement officer here and anywhere in this land that if I'm reelected, I will fight for our police every single day. I do anyway. I fight like hell for our police, and sometimes I'll see it. I'll see it on the other side. I'll see it with the Democrats. They always want to cut back from the police. And, you know, you're talking about peanuts. You're talking about small amounts of money relative to the kind of horror that can happen with death and with destruction and all of the things you look at. These people are great, and they do a phenomenal job. They're brave, they're strong, and frankly, I know they're well paid. They're not well paid enough as far as I'm concerned. And I'll work with the Republican Congress, where we have great support and great support for law enforcement, to confront the far-left local prosecutors in Democratic-run cities who are refusing to prosecute crimes, even murder. And when they do, they let people out almost instantly. It's incredible. You wouldn't even believe it could be happening. They have murderers in Philadelphia. Take a look at your prosecutor, your chief prosecutor in Philadelphia, and what's happening in that city, where people that kill, people that murder, get out automatically and quickly, or don't even go to jail at all. Killers. We'll drive out the fanatical anti-police ideology of the radical socialists, Marxists, anarchists, and agitators. And I'll fight to ensure that criminals who murder our police officers immediately and quickly, with a fair trial, but quickly, receive the death penalty. Together, we will keep American families safe, we'll make every American community secure, and we will make America great again. You've heard that before. That's what's happening. And we were there until the virus came upon us, and we'll soon be there again. We'll soon be there again. And China, we have not forgotten. We have not forgotten. I'd like now to ask Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey to say a few words, followed by Pasco County Sheriff Chris Narco, who's two fantastic people. Maybe you'll say a couple of words, please, Sheriff.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. President, thank you for standing with us today. I'm Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey, and today I'm extremely proud to stand with fellow sheriffs from across the state of Florida